everyone is doing great today. I'm Roger Wilkinson with Talking Hardball with BigRodge. And today we're going to be talking about the NCAA transfer portal. It's a hot topic right now, and it's a concern in many ways, and it's an eye-opener in a ton of ways. And I just want to inform you parents about what's going on with the NCAA transfer portal. So here it is in a nutshell, that the NCAA has allowed certain Division I players to transfer without penalty of having to sit out due to different scenarios. It could be a coach leaving. It could be that you're on no scholarship money. It could be a numerous amount of reasons. And now, once they are in this transfer portal, all of the coaches at other NCAA institutions can now see who's available, and the list has gotten quite big over this summer. I guess it got up to about 1,500 names, and right now about 448 NCAA D1 players are eligible to transfer without penalty to another institution. So what's that mean for you and your high school players sitting at home today? Well, first of all, it increases the amount of competition that you're going to face for recruiting dollars, because most of these college coaches are looking for guys with some sort of experience. Now, that experience might not have come on the playing field, but it did come from a year being in college, going through weight training, practice sessions, and all of the rigors of being an academician and student athlete over the past 12 months. For these athletes, give them an advantage over the incoming high school freshmen. Another thing that is going on with the transfer portal is the Division II and junior college coaches are now really mining that transfer portal to find players to fill immediate needs. So we're not saying they're not going to sign high school players, they're just going to sign less of them. Because if I'm sitting as a head coach at an NCAA Division II school here in my area in the Peach Belt Conference, then I'm scanning through the transfer portal trying to find an immediate need for my team. Maybe I need a left-handed setup pitcher. Maybe I need a power righty out of the pen. I might need a new shortstop. My shortstop flunked and my freshman's not ready. Or I need a power hitting third baseman, and the list goes on and on. So these guys are filling their rosters to help them right now with these Division I transfers, because over the course of time, these guys have played well in these leagues. If you go through the all-conference teams each season, many of the top players once were at a Division I school. So it makes perfect sense for an NCAA Division II school to recruit off of the transfer portal. Now, what does that mean for your kid? Well, it means I'm probably not going to go out quite as much to see high school games as I've been doing in the past, because I don't need as many high school players. You know, most of the NCAA Division II schools are going to carry 30 to 40 players. Many are going to redshirt. They don't have a roster limit. Now, the NCAA Division I teams cannot be over 35. That's not the case for Division II. So I can bring in as many players as I want to, but my thinking is most of them are going to bring in these transfer guys that have another year under their belt, sometimes 2 years, or they're a grad student with a 5th year of eligibility, all sorts of scenarios that can come in and help my team win some games right now. Because at the end of the day, my focus is on helping University of XYZ win my conference or play and win as many games as possible. And if I think that I can get that done with the older players, then that's going to be the route I'm going to take. So this thing has really opened up a can of worms, so to speak, for high school recruiting, because now here's the dilemma. You're going out, and I've done this 25 years now. You're going out and you're spending sizable amount of money, not just on playing. It's probably the least amount you're going to spend, but on the expenses associated with playing. Hotel rooms, driving, and feeding the family while you're on the road. And on top of that, you're having to take off work for weeks at a time so that your kid can play. And so you're investing a lot of money for very little recruiting outside of the Division I arena. So if you're the parent of a kid that you think's not going to play at Division I levels or a Power 5 level, then your efforts are sometimes seem wasted because the Division II schools, the junior colleges, and those in the NAIA schools are not out on the recruiting trail quite as hard as they have been in the past, because they can sit in the office and do research on guys that are wanting to transfer. And so they're picking up these transfer players and doing less of the high school thing, which makes, very logical sense. And so, but on your side of it, you're suffering from not getting a lot of exposure outside of Division I levels. And that's even if you're on a good team or a good program that gets some Division I coaches to come watch your team play. Some of you are on the local team or the team run by the dads that nobody really is coming to watch play anyway. And so those efforts are, from a recruiting standpoint, are totally been wasted because there's nobody coming to see your kid play. And, it's just the nature of the beast right now. You go up to the WWBA, there's 325 teams there, and the big schools are going to watch programs that have produced players in the past, and they're not going to see Joe's barbecue and grill team play, even though they may have a couple of good players. It's just not enough time in the day to go see everybody, and they're going to go by what's been good for them in the past, and they're going to use that as a measuring stick to help them in the future. Now, another thing that's going on is you're seeing that they're, committing kids in the 9th grade and in the 10th grade. And let me just tell you, that's fine and dandy, but however, 78% of those kids are getting decommitted or are transferring at the end of 1 year. And that's why we've got this big chaos going on in the transfer portal, because they've overcommitted too many kids to come into their program, and they've got to be at 35. They got to get rid of some of them by the end of fall semester, opening night. They got to have 35 players on the roster. So, committing 20 players per class does not make mathematical sense. Somebody's got to go. The guys who play well in the fall stay. The others have to find a new home. So before you get totally invested in going to the University of XYZ in the ACC or SEC or some other Power 5 school, and you've been committed for 2 years, don't be shocked if they call you the fall of your senior year and say, hey, you haven't developed at the rate that we thought you would. We've committed 20 players. We can only take 10. I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to play here. That's a reality and a hard pill to swallow in today's recruiting game, but it is the way it is, and you better get used to it because it's not going to change anytime soon. We don't see the NCAA changing any rules in the near future. So it's going to be the wild, wild west when it comes to committing 9th and 10th graders and decommitting them as seniors. Again, 78% never make it to year 2 at the college that they committed to as a 14 or 15-year-old freshman or sophomore. So just understand, it's what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and if you're willing to make that commitment as a sophomore, just be willing to get decommitted if things don't go quite your way over the next 2 seasons. So what I'm getting to the point is that, today, and we'll wrap this up here in the next 30 seconds. Today, you've got to keep your eyes open. The recruiting portal is a real transfer portal, is a real deal, and it's here to stay for a while, and you better take it into consideration as a high school player as your competition. I hope you guys have a great day. I look forward to talking to you every day. We're talking hardball, giving you the straight facts from BigRodge here down in Georgia. And I look forward to seeing you on a ball field real soon. Have a great day.